Hey everyone, Mr. PS Vita Reviews here. It's time again for one of these Minecraft chat type things that I still really don't know what's going on. But basically, if you're new to this, I basically talk about something random involving the Vita and whatnot. And some of the things will be from you guys letting me know in the comments below what you'd like me to talk about, and other things will be me randomly thinking of things, which would be what this episode's about. And I've also got someone here with me, and you may know him. He's my co-host in the VitaCast, Kyle Wakeling. What's up, Kyle?
Not too much, Tyler, not too much.
I feel like we just talked to each other.
We kind of did. Podcast was not long ago.
It was not. So how you been in the past couple days?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself?
I've been pretty good as well, although work's kind of been, meh. But hey, gotta make that money somehow.
That's right, you gotta fund those games.
Oh yeah. And speaking of games, that's a good segue into the first topic here. We're going to talk about the Bandai Namcos and their awesome support for the Vita, and we're kind of just going to chat about that. Doesn't really have anywhere else to go with that, but other than just what they're doing with the Vita and how much we appreciate them. So kind of trying to think of a way to jump into that, but we just got the announcement of that Digimon game and Sword Art Online Lost Song, and I just kind of wanted to know what you thought about that, Kyle. Like, how does this make you feel with what Bandai's doing for us?
I've been saying it for a while, Tyler. Bandai is one of the best supporters of the Vita. Just off the top of my head, I think there's about 30 or more games that I know of, at least.
Damn.
That I think are Bandai Namco influenced in some way, whether it's developed, published, both, something that they've brought to the Vita, and that's including Japanese games. So obviously some of those aren't available directly over here, but a lot of those too are stuff that you could kind of import without too much bullshit, just because of the kind of gameplay they are. So really, they're giving us a lot more than it kind of seems they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, they're just awesome, and I'm super glad that they brought Digimon over, and that we're getting that in 2016, both Europe and North America. Oh yeah. So I'm excited for that, and they're just bringing a lot, and they've brought a lot in the past, so I'm not really too worried about stuff when it comes to Bamco. I know we're either going to get it, or if we don't get it, it's going to be an awesome game that you can probably import, and if not, you might be able to muddle your way through it anyway. I know I'd try if I could import some more of these games, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah, that's another kind of question I've been wondering is, like, do you ever see it stopping, like, anytime soon? Like, they've been working on a lot of Vita games, and there's a few that you and I are keeping our eyes out on, but is there any chance that eventually they're just going to stop bringing it out here?
Well, obviously there's a chance, but I think it's really slim at this point. A lot of Bandai's stuff is doing really well over here. Look at Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. It was 2014's #1 selling digital title on the PSN in North America. #1. It didn't even come out at the start of the year, so it had limited time to do that, and it still made it to #1. So I think just the kind of games that they're bringing to the market and the kind of stuff that they're bringing over here is of such high quality or high demand, because some of it's obviously not that great, as we've seen from Hollow Fragment. The translation leaves us a little bit wanting, but whatever they do bring, it's something that's so wanted that it does well over here. So
right. Yeah,
they're good at choosing which games to bring.
Yeah, I feel like they might have been a little surprised with that, how successful Hollow Fragment was. Because, I mean, they didn't even really bring out it physically, and wasn't there, like, nothing really... I mean, like, obviously we covered it on the Vita Lounge and whatnot, but I don't think there was really any, like, craziness going on about, like, this game's coming out, everyone get excited. It was kind of just word-of-mouth stuff, right?
Well, that's a lot of Vita stuff. Like, I mean, unless you talk about some AAA game like Killzone Mercenary, a lot of people outside the Vita circle don't really know about them, so it's hard to, get the word out there for sure. about these games. But at the same time, if they're bringing something, it's something that you can almost guarantee is going to sell. Like, look at things like Sword Art Online, Tales of Hearts R, J-Stars Victory Versus. Those are games that you can pretty much bet are going to sell over here just because of games that are like that or stuff that is like that has sold over here in the past.
Right.
Sword Art Online is a big anime, and it's even big in the West compared to, a lot of other stuff. It's no Pokemon or fucking other shit like that, but it's something that's, appeals to quite a lot of people. Tales of Hearts are... The Tales of games are hugely popular even over here. People are always begging for them. It doesn't matter what platform. So even though I didn't particularly like it, I thought it was well built, but not a really great game. A lot of people love it, and a lot of people love the gameplay. So, it's something that sells. And then J-Stars, you're dealing with anime characters and manga characters that people love. So, even though, not all of them make it over here kind of in a big way, there's enough in there that, somebody who's into anime or manga can go, oh, hey, there's a cool character I like, or, one or two or three at least. And that kind of just pulls them into the arena when they can, watch the videos and the coverage and kind of get interested. So
right.
They do a lot of stuff like that where it's something that's going to do well over here because of other reasons other than, there was a past game that was out that was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely very thankful of Bandai's, constant releases and support for the Vita, because everything they seem to be working on seems to be something that I'm like, you know what? I want that. So they just need to keep it coming.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of Bandai Namco stuff that I'm looking forward to. And a lot of stuff that I kind of know probably won't make it over here, but I know it'll be good enough that if I do end up importing it, I will enjoy it despite my limited Japanese.
Well, that's something I need to start thinking about learning, but I really don't have the time.
I've poked at helping you before, Tyler. I gave you those, well, you wouldn't call them letters, I guess, alphabet to study.
Yeah. I looked at it a little bit, but I'm a busy guy, and after moving out, I kind of lost those sheets, so I don't have them anymore. I know. Anyways, another thing I kind of wanted to talk about, including it's just another Bandai game. Going back to Digimon, I'm a little surprised that they're just releasing it digital only. Do you think there's a reason for that? I mean, with Hollow Fragment, it did so well, and everyone was like crazy, like, why didn't they bring it physical? And then, now Lost Song got announced, and that one is coming physical. Like, why doesn't Digimon get it physical? There's a ton of people, wasn't it like 60,000 or something, that are wanting it, or signed at least a petition for it? Like, why is it not getting physical?
Yeah, the petition, I believe, when I actually wrote that Digimon is coming post, was at 65,000 and change. So there's quite a lot of people that want it. The thing is, I think it might not even be that they don't want to necessarily make a physical edition, or they're not thinking that they might make a physical edition. It might be just that they're trying to gauge interest.
Right.
I noticed a lot of, publishers and different people that put out these games have done that whole thing lately where they come out and they say, oh no, the game's going to be, digital only. And then all these people freak out, and they gauge by kind of how many people freak out whether they should do it or not, and then they come out with a limited or, even a straight up physical release. So I think part of it is them trying to gauge, and part of it too is even with bringing over something like Digimon, there's still a chance things could fail. So They're trying to kind of, protect themselves a little bit from losing money, which any normal company would do.
Right. I mean, out of the 60,000 people that signed it, not every single one of them is going to buy it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, you could even see a physical come after release for those people who were holding out and, depending on what kind of they see happens with the market and the backlash, I guess, from fans about that. But yeah, I think part of it's definitely kind of a gauging interest thing, and part of it's trying to protect themselves as a business, because obviously they don't want to lose money with something like Sword Art. The first one came over here and it sold like fucking hotcakes digitally. So, and it's still like, I mean, this month it was, I believe, #1 on North American chart last month. So it's still selling like hotcakes, and they've proved that it will sell well here in the West. So now they're comfortable bringing Lost Song here physical, you know.
Right.
It's one of those things where they've proven it now. So they haven't really proven anything with these Digimon games.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, even maybe like a limited edition, like that seems to be what a lot of companies are doing, like especially Exceed bringing Senran and Kagura with that limited physical edition. So, I mean, I think they sold out of that one, I believe. I can't remember if they did or not, but it seems like that was pretty smart to do. So maybe they should do something like that.
Yeah, true. I always think limited edition kind of stuff is kind of a good idea. But a better idea, and I think we've talked about this before on the podcast, but never obviously on a video like this, is I think it would be a good idea to have a thing where kind of before the game gets released, you know, after announcement, before release, they have, you know, a certain amount of time where they say, okay, if you want a physical copy, pledge for a physical copy, like a kind of pay before, like a pre-order kind of thing, I guess.
Right.
And then they gauge by the amount of people that pre-order a physical copy, how many to print off, and then they don't, you know, print off too many or too little, and they don't screw themselves out of money. So it's kind of like a, you know, Kickstarter thing where you pledge beforehand to get the physical copy. They gauge, you know, by how many people pledge, how many physical copies they're going to make, so they don't make too many or too little. And then there they go. They have, you know, a physical copy run, so everybody's happy. I always thought that was a good idea, but it does kind of take an extra layer of stuff, because you have to have, you know, people to take care of this, you know, pledge thing, and, you know, make sure these numbers are right, and analysts analyze the numbers, and so it creates more shit. But like, I mean, if you're trying to make everybody happy and maybe maximize your profits, depending on how many people actually want the physical copy, it's kind of an idea that I had that might, you know, satisfy everybody a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that's a good idea. I like that. Well, I think we've talked a lot about Bandai, so to continue this Minecraft chat video thing, we're almost at the 15 minutes, which is what I'm trying to keep this videos around, but I think we can go over it a little bit with a listener response to a future topic, and it is from Lorenzo Samniego. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but I'm terrible with names, especially if you listen to the VitaCast, you'll know that. Anyways, he asks, or says, future topics, the struggle/good fight of spreading the Vita love. So Kyle, you and I, you know, obviously we write for the Vita Lounge, and we're constantly talking about how much we love the PlayStation Vita, and sometimes there's days where you're just like, sometimes you just see something, you're just like, come on, like with Sony calling the Vita a legacy console, you're just like, oh man, really, Sony? And it's just, there's lots of things that just, you know, can make it a struggle. But then those are also things like with Bandai Namco bringing out all these amazing games that are like, yes, I am totally going to talk about this game so much because this is something that makes me excited to own the Vita. So what do you think about that, Kyle? What the good things and the bad things of loving the Vita, or giving that love out there?
It's a struggle sometimes, man. I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, people just not knowing.
Right.
Like they see something on one of these sites and assume, you know, that's what's going on, or, you know, they hear something and they assume that's just kind of the way it is because they heard it on, you know, NeoGAF or Reddit or whatever, wherever the hell they trust as their news source. And a lot of things just spiral out of control. And I think the big thing about that is that there is no, you know, voice of the Vita, I guess, other than us. So you don't really hear, you know, Sony come out and, you know, answer these questions when people have questions about, the different things that they're struggling with. You don't hear a lot of other sites, come out with these truthful, honest, fact-backed answers that these people are looking for. You hear, somebody says legacy, console or legacy parts or whatever. I forget what the actual quote was, but and they assume that that means the Vita's dead and everyone abandoned ship and run for the fucking hills. And, it's just like one of those things where there's not enough knowledge about it out there to have people make, a legitimate, is this true or not, over these crazy things that happen. So, obviously, I'm not denying it. The Vita has not done well thanks to Sony. It has done well thanks to everybody else who supports it. So, the Sony games we've gotten are great. Most of them are, top-notch games or games that would sell consoles if they advertised them. But at the same time, I don't feel like they're the things that keep me on Vita. The things that keep me on Vita are the stuff that's coming from people like Bandai and Tecmo Koei. The stuff that's coming from people over here like Drinkbox Studios, Guacamelee, just the people who are so passionate about Vita, not because it's, the biggest thing out there and everybody's talking about it, but because they know it's good, because they've played it. And that's the thing about Vita. If you've played it, you know it's good. So it's one of those things where, as somebody who's played a lot of Vita, I know how friggin' good it is. And as somebody who's written a lot about Vita, I know a lot of the ins and outs of it. So when people have these kind of problems and all this shit goes down and everyone's freaking out and I'm trying to be the voice of reason or jump in to help somebody else who's trying to be the voice of reason, and everyone's still kind of having these flip outs, it's frustrating for sure. And I think, it's definitely a lot to do with how much information is out there and how, I guess, the media portrays things and just the lack of true coverage other than, the small few that we kind of hang around with.
Yeah. It definitely, goes both ways. Like I was saying at the beginning of this segment, there's some days that are just meh, and you just roll your eyes with what people are saying, and then, there's days where you're just all excited about what's coming, and there is a ton coming. I mean, you've built that list of upcoming games for the Vita, and it's crazy. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is pretty ridiculous.
and even just going on Amazon and going to the pre-order games or whatever, there's a ton of games that are all physical because that's what Amazon does, is physical releases, even though they do some digital stuff. But anyways, that's not the point. They've got some awesome physical games coming to the Vita, and there's stuff constantly being announced, and there's stuff that we don't even know about that's coming out probably next week because they don't like to advertise things, but yeah, there's so much coming. If you actually do your homework and look around, man, there's a lot. And that definitely makes the struggle difficult because you talk to an average gamer that doesn't care about the Vita and you try to explain the games that are coming, they're like, well, whatever. There's no games for that. That's what everyone else says, right? So I'm just going to follow what everyone else is saying. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you, Lorenzo Samniago, for your question and topic for this one. If you would like to get your topic talked about in another episode of Minecraft Chat, let me know in the comments below. I'm open to pretty much anything you want. I really don't care. This is, just friends shooting the shit. Hopefully Kyle can join more often, but if he can't, then we can just yell at him, so. But yeah. What do you think, Kyle, of your first episode of this thing?
Well, since I didn't actually have to play the Minecraft, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, okay, let me get into that. Playing Minecraft and trying to listen to you talk and understand what you're saying is very difficult. Because I'm trying to continue building my because you don't see what I'm actually doing. Just so you know, people, Kyle can't see what I'm doing. He'll have to, not that he's gonna watch this because he's already experienced it, but he can't see anything I'm doing right now. So, anyways, yeah, doing that and trying to continue a conversation is pretty difficult, but I think I'm doing a decent job at it. So yeah.
Thankfully, you had some good topics that allowed me to talk a lot.
Oh yeah.
So you didn't have to talk so much.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. So yeah, definitely people comment below. Give me another topic so I can make Kyle do all the work and me just play a game. But yeah, thank you, Kyle, for joining in.
You're very welcome, and I look forward to another episode of, Chat with Minecraft that I don't have to play Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like to get a hold of Kyle, because he's a nice guy and pretty awesome, find him on Twitter. He's at Teflon Tactics. Also, you may have to play Minecraft soon, Kyle. Not you may. You will be playing Minecraft soon.
Indeed, Tyler, indeed. We've hit enough that it's definitely in stone that I will be playing Minecraft for at least 45 minutes in the future.
Well, I think we should let people know why, because people of my channel don't really know what's going on. So do you want to talk about that?
All right. So about 6.5 months ago, I got myself a sweet new computer that allowed me to do all the things that I would need to do to keep the Vita Lounge running. Then almost 6 months to the day after that, it kind of got attacked by a vase of water. So the computer's no more. I'm working with a computer that is sitting at 80 degrees Celsius right now without me barely even doing anything on it. And I'm trying to keep everything running, which is a total pain in the ass and is taking way more time than usual. So Tyler, being the good friend that he is, came up with this kind of torture help me thing where basically you donate money on GoFundMe and you make me play Minecraft, and at the same time you help me out towards a new laptop so that I can keep TVL running. Awesome.
Yeah, so I will leave a link in the description and probably also on the video, so you can just click on that and support Kyle if you like. Anything helps. And of course, I'm definitely going to be recording that day when Kyle plays Minecraft, because if you're a fan of the VitaCast, you know he fucking hates Minecraft. So
I'll probably be flipping out. It's going to be crazy. I'm probably going to try and kill Tyler somehow, although I don't even know how the game works with that regard. So
yeah, we're not
it'll be funny.
Yes, I can't wait. It's going to be great. So it's for a good cause and helping a friend out. So it'd be much appreciated, because Kyle's an awesome guy, and I love to torture him. So
yes, you do, Tyler. Yes, you do.
Well, all right, let's get out of here, because that was a longer episode of a Minecraft chat than I was expecting, but it was some good talk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and look out for the next episode. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and thanks, Kyle, again for joining in. So take care, guys. It's actually watching you. It didn't really move when all of us walked away. She's the bait, Kyle. Oh! No. Yes! Yes! Oh, hey. Oh, Jesus! Oh, my Lord. That was scary. That was epic. Who knew they could fly?